Neon Deion lights it up this time on Right Angle. Hi, I'm Scott Ott with Zoe Rachel and Stephen Green. Zoe's sitting in for the ailing Bill Whittle this week, and there is a story that is actually breaking now at the turn of 2022 because of a video that was shot back in September of 2021 that's just really started to pick up some steam and go viral, according to Sports Illustrated blog called The Spun. Deion Sanders, who many remember as a NFL player, is now the coach of Jackson State's football team. And Jackson State is in Mississippi. And he has really done great things for that program. And the team has been very successful in his very brief time as their head coach. But there was a video apparently possibly shot by his own son, who, by the way, went on to be like the MVP of the league while his dad was making a name for himself as a coach. And it's in the locker room, and I will quote, we're not going to run the clip because I don't want us to get demonetized on YouTube for using somebody's intellectual property. Plus, I feel like when I use somebody's intellectual property, I should send them a quarter or something like that. Anyway, so here's what Deion Sanders is recorded as saying, and you can see him on camera saying this. We'll provide a link at billwhittle.com. If I catch one of y'all on your phone right now, you ain't playing. This is before the game, ladies and gentlemen. Get off the phone. Get locked in. So he's shouting at his team, who are all suited up and ready to play this football game in week 2 of the season. And he says, if I catch one of y'all on your phone right now, you ain't playing. Stephen Green, he says that like he means it. I wonder what would happen if more people had the courage of their convictions, that when you are in the moment and about to participate in something, whether that's a football game or a family dinner, that you need to get off your phone and be locked in.
I do it all the time. I really do. I'm a dad. I've got, a 16-year-old boy and 11-year-old boy. They've got their devices. They love their devices, but they are trained, not perfectly trained because we're talking about young boys here, but they are trained that during a conversation, during a meal, the phone goes away. The tablet gets put down, and not just set down, but face down, and preferably somewhere else. There's so many reasons to be on a phone. They're amazing. First time I saw an iPhone, I thought, wow, finally a cell phone that I might actually want to use, because I hated cell phone. I don't like talking on the phone at all. And so I never saw the appeal on a cell phone. I don't want to talk to people when I'm home. Why would I want to talk to them when I'm in my car? This made no sense to me. But my wife and I got married in 2002. We came back from our honeymoon, and the first thing we did as a married couple back in the States was go to Sam's Club and get matching flip phones. And I never used the damn thing. I hated it, but Melissa wanted me to have it, so I had it. As I said, there are a million reasons to use a phone, whether you're an iPhone person or an Android person. It doesn't really make a difference, because there are all these things they do, all these amazing things they do. But there are 2 reasons to put them down, and those 2 reasons are so much more important when it's the right time than anything you could possibly be doing on that phone. And one is that when there's a real person that you love or like right there in front of you. That's a real human being. That's not a screen. That's not something coming in on a 5G carrier wave. That is a human being, and that's precious that somebody loves or likes you back. Look them in the eye. Pay some attention. Listen. The other time was we went on vacation back in August, and I used the parental controls that are built into the phone to shut off my access to the web browser, to messages, to the actual phone app, which is like the app I never use on my phone because I hate talking on the phone. And for 1 week, I couldn't even look at stock prices. I couldn't do anything with that phone. And it was beautiful. And Scott, I'm going to finish telling the story, and not to make you feel bad. I promise this is not to make you feel bad. It's just funny. That week I was completely unaware of the news. Well, one headline slipped through. You forgot, buddy, that I was out of town and that Zoe was filling in for me, just like he's filling in for Bill. And you texted to say that you had claimed the Governor Cuomo resignation story. And I'm like, oh, that's our headline, and I heard it, and I'm on vacation. But those are the times you've got to unplug when it's good for your mental health, because you're going on vacation somewhere to get away from all of that. Don't put it right back in your pocket. And the other is when you're making a real connection right in front of you. Do that. Don't forget that.
Well, I apologize for disturbing you and for everyone else at the monastery. My sincerest apologies.
I'm trying to watch bikini girls at the pool, and suddenly I'm thinking about Cuomo.
Sorry about that. So it's almost like there is a new unspoken etiquette when it comes to phones. And it's not the kind of etiquette we might have dreamed of or the kind that we were accustomed to when we were growing up, which is that you show respect to others. And, there was a reason why we had phone booths. It's because we didn't want anybody else to have to listen to what you were talking to somebody about on the phone. But now, not only do I see people walking around like this with the phone up to their head, but I see people walking around like this with the phone like extending from their lower lip, like one of those giant wooden discs that those tribal people used to insert in their lower lip. And they've got the speaker on and they're talking into the little blowhole at the bottom of the phone for no reason at all. I not only have to endure their side of the conversation, but I have to hear the other side of the conversation as well. And I have never had the moment or the courage to just walk up to somebody and go, hey, could you just tell me what the heck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? I don't get it. But there is a new kind of deference to people who are being rude, essentially, in my view. And it's almost like it's not just a tolerance of rudeness, it's a redefining of rudeness that says, I would be rude to intrude on this person who is absorbed in their phone and scrolling away in a public setting among a group of friends, or who is jabbering away in a public setting, again, disrupting other people's conversations. Do you just, as a young man that you are, just feel like saying, okay, boomer? Or do you think there's really something to this redefining of rudeness when it comes to cell phones that Deion Sanders has just smacked in the face?
Well, hold on a second. I'll answer the question.
Oh, no.
Hey, no, you got it,
My
man.
own brother has lifted up his heel against me.
I mean, no, definitely Deion is onto something. He said, you know what, he's got the status and the charisma to say, and it be heard as loud as it's been heard. That a lot of us have been saying, and this amazing device, which is basically it's not even a phone. It's a computer with a phone in it. That's what it is, and it does a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. And I gotta wonder, when he was even telling us, hey, if you guys don't get off that phone, you're not gonna be able to play. I wonder if he even had to text that message to him. It's like, hey, are you listening to me? Are you listening to me right now? But this ability to be able to unplug, it's a lot of it is so much about us. We want to receive, we want to either find out things or we want to find out stuff about us. You can have a human being sitting right there, but in a culture that looks down on greed so much, we get greedy for things that are about us. I want to check my Facebook status. I got a person sitting here with me right now, but your feedback about me isn't enough. I got to go on here and check my status to see if there's some more feedback about me. And talk about one, greedy. It's narcissistic. It's and the culture is almost kind of drowning in it. And that's where that narcissism comes from. Isn't that how the myth works? Narcissist who's just sitting there looking into this black pool and falls in love with a reflection of himself, just kind of dies there, and we're just kind of looking into this pool, man, and just sitting there, looking for reflections of ourselves. So, I mean, it's good, that Deion is pointing these things out to them. And I hope he didn't get the feedback of, well, fine. I wanted to be on my phone anyway. I don't have to be out on the field playing games. I could be on here right now playing games. I'm playing games right now, Deion. So hopefully, he did get the message across and that they picked up on it, and it'll resonate with a lot of other people that, hey, there's, if you give the world a chance, it's kind of beautiful out there and there's beautiful people, and let's maybe not try to get to know each other, through some other medium or something like that. Let's actually, unsocially distance and actually recognize each other.
Well, when I saw this story and the video, it struck me on a different level. I mean, certainly I admire the coach for commanding the attention of the impending game, that they were about to play and that they needed to get focused and stay on that and not be texting or chatting or scrolling or whatever they were doing on their smartphones. But you could read this quote differently than he said it, because he said, if I catch one of y'all on your phone right now, you ain't playing, meaning I will not let you play. And I thought, on a broader sense, for frankly, the whole United States of America, when you're on your phone all the time, you ain't playing. I mean, you are not in the game. You're not participating. You're reading what other people are doing or watching us talk about what other people are doing, but you're not actually in the game. And I love Deion Sanders saying, get off your phone and get locked in. Like, if you want to make a difference in this world, get locked in and do something. It's not going to happen by, your thumbs up on a video. It's not going to happen by your snarky comment on somebody's Facebook page. It's not going to happen by you blowing off steam and jabbering your opinion about every topic under the sun. I have a friend who said, well, I got to watch Fox News all the time. I said, well, why do you have to watch Fox News all the time? Well, I want to be an informed citizen. Like, really? You think watching television news makes you an informed citizen? Is that even a thing anymore? There's no group of producers at TV news stations who are sitting down and going, okay, today, what is the news budget for today? And before we start, I just want to make sure we're all focused in on our key intent here, which is to make sure we are shaping informed citizens who understand their form of governance, who understand the issues before them, and who can make wise decisions when it comes to voting. I don't think there's a single network that really wants to do that. They're looking for eyeballs. They're looking for controversy. They're looking for provocation. They want to get people lathered up because that's what keeps people coming back. That's what keeps you scrolling on your phone. And so what Deion Sanders said to his team is, when you're on your phone, you ain't playing and you need to get locked in. And that was an encouragement to me to say, you know what? Let's be about living out this great free market society that we live in. Let's not just be talkers and jabberers. Let's be doers of the word, so to speak. Let's be that we don't just have principles, but we have practice behind those principles that shows that we actually believe in the principles in the first place. Come on, folks. Let's get locked in. For Zoe Rachel and Stephen Green, I'm Scott Ott. Thanks to the members at BillWhittle.com for making Right Angle possible.